afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody, and happy New Year. It is Saturday, December 31st, and you know what that means. It is time for the High Risk Wrestling Podcast. I am your GOAT. I am the Doctor of Thugonomics, Jeremy Pierce, and it's time for the High Risk Wrestling Podcast. Yeah. As always, check out the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook, Tumblr, and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram, and the 215 on Twitter. So a few things coming up in 2023, more videos, more videos. I'm getting things together now. I'm getting lists together now, topics together, more of the Filthy Casual, more game shows, fan interviews. It's going to be great. I'm really going to start putting my best foot forward here. I mean, 2 years. 2 years. Next week's show will be the 2-year anniversary. 2 years. I cannot believe I will have been doing this for 2 years. That's awesome. Last week's show was the matches of the year, and today's show we're doing our year-end awards, and it took me a minute to really figure out her name, but I have it. These are the Cutters. Yes, the Cutters. I think it's poetic. So, year-end awards, we got a couple of categories. We have 13 categories, and I might even add 2 more for next year. But for now, you know what's next, so just go on and hit my music. All right, so we got a weird week. We've got news, but then a really short week when it comes to actual in-ring action. It just happens to be like that sometimes. So first things first, looks like Sami Callihan's contract may be coming up soon. He did sign a 2-year extension back in 2021. He's been with them for a while now. Remember, he started out in NXT, Solomon Crow, never really worked out, but he's been pretty much easy money over in NXT. Battle of the Belts number 5 will be live following the Rampage on next Friday, January 6th. This will be the second Battle of the Belts to go live, and I think the first match will be Orange Cassidy, Kip Sabian for the All Atlantic Championship. This match actually has some story behind it. At a house show earlier this week, Bray Wyatt wrestled his first match, and it actually kind of coincided with the passing of Brody Lee. As you know, Brody Lee was part of the Wyatt family. Bray took on Jinder Mahal. Santos Escobar was also seemingly injured at that same Madison Square Garden house show. He took on Kofi Kingston, Madcap Moss, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Gunther in an Intercontinental Championship ladder match. Kofi avoided a scary botch, but Escobar hit his knee doing a double stomp. Hopefully he is okay. Rampage ratings, the Christmas week's episode did about what you would expect. It actually went up. Would you look at that? 566,000 viewers with a .18 and a 18-49 demo. That is actually up from the previous week of 447,000. WWE 2K is preparing a big announcement. I guess we're all expecting. We're expecting 2K23 to drop in March. Something like that will happen. Sports Illustrated released their top 10 superstars wrestlers of 2022, and it's a fine list. There are just a couple things wrong with it. First things first, what you need to know is the person who's made the list, he has an extreme bias against Impact Wrestling, because there are 2 Impact superstars that should be on anyone's top 10 list. But let's go on with the list real quick. Number 10, Masha Slamovich, who should not be on the list. 9, Cash Wheeler. 8, Dax Hardwood. 7, El Hijo del Vikingo. Number 6, Jamie Hayter. 5, Will Ospreay. 4, Roman Reigns. 3, Bianca Belair. 2, Jon Moxley. 1, Seth Rollins. And here's why I have an issue with the list. I love Jamie Hayter. She should not be on the list. The fact that Dax and Cash are here together, separately, not as a tag team, shows you how much this guy dislikes Impact Wrestling, because Josh Alexander and Jordan Grace should be on this list. Any top 10 list of top 10 wrestlers of the year, they should be on that list, especially Josh Alexander. So sometimes people just show their stupidity. Raw had a best of episode, so they really weren't expecting much when it comes to ratings. They actually pulled in 1.1 million viewers with a .27 and an 18-49 demo. Dragon Lee has signed with WWE. He will be starting NXT. Don't know why. He doesn't need to be NXT. He will be the highest paid NXT superstar now that Mandy Rose is no longer there. The WWE, they signed him when they saw that AEW put him on TV with no contract. Dragon Lee's that dude. He's really good. He actually chose WWE over AEW despite AEW offering lower money. Now you can say it's low, obviously it's lower money, but he would have more freedom in AEW. So we'll see how he does in the WWE. And they're expected to sign a few more high quality names. Don't know who. It's like everybody's pretty much signed. Only names that really come to mind are Chelsea Green and Matt Cardona. Speaking of Matt Cardona, his tag team partner Brian Myers has re-signed with Impact Wrestling. Guy's been having a tremendous 18-year career. He's been doing pretty good things over there in Impact Wrestling. Dynamite this past week pulled in 900,000 viewers. That is down slightly from the previous week. They pulled in 876,000 viewers with a .28 in the 18-49 demo. AJ Styles was injured at a house show. The X was thrown up, and AJ Styles has confirmed that he has a broken ankle. Won't need surgery. Hopefully he'll be healed in time for WrestleMania. Now that Ty Conte and Sammy Guevara are no longer the AAA Mixed Tag Team Champions. Why? AAA stripped them of the championships, and they're not considering, they're done putting championships on AEW talent. Ty pulled out. AEW scheduled her for a tag match the week she had to defend the championship alongside Sammy. And it's done. And mind you, FTR just lost the AAA title, so looks like this partnership is a little bit over and done with at the moment. AEW will be no longer airing on Canadian television, but it had nothing to do with the ratings. It was just a cost-cutting maneuver by RDS, which airs Dynamite in Canada. And lastly, in some sad news, Don West has passed away. He's one of the longtime voices of Impact Wrestling, and Impact has released a statement. Impact is heartbroken to learn of the passing of Don West, one of the defining voices of our 20-year industry. Don's enthusiasm and passion elevated every second he called and uplifted the spirits of everybody he crossed paths with. He will be dearly missed. Don was suffering from cancer. It sucks, but he'll be missed. Him and Mike Tenay were great together, and we hope him and his family are doing well. All right, so like I said, we had a nice bit of news, but small in the sense of in the week that was. So Monday Night Raw was just a best of show. But then they had a house show that Monday. Huh. It's weird, right? It was the Madison Square Garden show. Over on Dynamite, we had a fun show that sets up the LA show. We opened up with Bryan Danielson versus Ethan Page. Danielson won, tapping out Ethan Page. I just wish Bryan Danielson could wrestle every single week, and then everybody can just look like a top-notch wrestler, because Bryan Danielson is just that good. Samoa Joe attacked Wardlow before their match later in the evening. Hit him with a pipe in his knee. If y'all know Joe loves the pipe. Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli defeated Top Flight, but Top Flight did not look weak here. This is one of those times where someone is actually elevated in defeat. It's not bad. Not bad at all. Big things. I expect big things for Top Flight in 2023. Hook wins a squash match. The Big Bill Morrissey and Lee Moriarty attack Hook before Jungle Boy saves him with a 2x4. The Elite defeated the Death Triangle in a Falls Count Anywhere match to tie their best of 7 series at 3 matches apiece. This was just fucking wild. They started fighting backstage before they even came up for their entrances. This was crazy. Kenny won by giving, I believe, Ray Phoenix a one-winged angel through some tables, while Pac had Nick Jackson and the Brutalizer in the middle of the ring. It's crazy. It was just crazy. TJ defeated Willow Nightingale and Ruby Soho, and Ruby clearly did not want to team up with Willow. I like it. I like everything that happened there. TJ cheated, but it was smart, and we can do some Willow versus Ruby stuff. This was good, but this feud isn't over between these 4 ladies. Ricky Starks has no problem going through Chris Jericho, and they will face each other next week in Seattle, Washington. Samoa Joe retained the TNT Championship against Wardlow by putting him to sleep. Darby Allin comes out to save Wardlow after the match, and now Darby gets a TNT Championship match on the first Dynamite of the year. Remember, this will be the new Dynamite, new theme song, new production. It's going to be a sight to behold. Impact was a best of show, so don't really worry about that. Friday Night SmackDown, we have the return of John Cena. Hold on. The show opened up with Bray Wyatt. This Bray Wyatt thing is really picking up. Bray came out, apologized. LA Knight came out and chastised him like, yo, you're full of crap, man. You're full of crap, and I don't believe you. And then Uncle Howdy came up and gave Bray a sister Abigail, and Bray will take on LA Knight at the Royal Rumble in a pitch black match, which is sponsored by Mountain Dew. I have no idea what this match is. None whatsoever. Heyman explains to Sami Zayn that the optics of Sami being cheered over Roman Reigns doesn't look right. This is it, y'all. This is the first sign. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Solo Sikoa defeated Sheamus. Drew McIntyre returns to help Sheamus in the Brawling Brutes. Ronda Rousey retained the SmackDown Women's Championship against Raquel Rodriguez, and then so I'm doing the Friday Night Year with Cam of the Blurred Cartel, and we're talking, and we were booking 2023, and I said I don't want Charlotte to face Bianca because LOL, Charlotte wins. And of course, Charlotte Flair returns on this SmackDown, gets a championship match against Ronda Rousey and wins. Dumb. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Ronda deserved better. Us fans deserve better. I can officially stop watching anything to do with the SmackDown Women's division outside if it has to do with Charlotte Flair. I'm just done. So fuck her and fuck them. Roman Reigns reassures Sami that things are fine. Might be getting a Hit Row heel turn. The face locker room were teasing Top Dollar about his botch, and he pushed them. Gunther and Imperium dodged Braun Strowman in our main event. KO, Kevin Owens and John Cena defeated Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn. Sami took the fall, and the Usos didn't help. They didn't interfere at all. The Usos didn't interfere. Solo didn't interfere. This is Roman's first also official loss in like 3 years. Just let that sink in, everybody. Rampage, Orange Cassidy retained the All Atlantic Championship against Trent, but Penelope Ford came out, causing a distraction, which allowed Cassidy to capitalize and retain the championship. Kip Sabian was on commentary. Trent looked upset that Cassidy would, do this. This is good. Sting gave Darby Allin a pep talk, because Darby's starting to let his insecurity show, and that ain't pretty, dog. Kip Sabian won a squash match. Jon Moxley says Jon Moxley things. Jade Cargill retained the TBS Championship against Kiera Hogan. I really wish there was more build to this than just 2 weeks of storyline. This was a solid match, but I wish there was more involved. And Red Velvet walked away from Jade after the match. Not necessarily turned her back on her, but she's questioning leadership. And in the main event, Isaiah Swerve Strickland defeated Wheeler Yuta. Our matches of the week, we only got 2, and they're both from Dynamite. Bryan Danielson versus Ethan Page. And of course, Falls Count Anywhere, the Elite versus the Death Triangle. Just go watch this match, y'all. Just really digest on that joint. And our star of the week, I'd be remiss not to give it to John Cena. That's the week in review, and we shall be right back. There is a first time for everything, and it is time for the first ever Cutters. 13 awards, 5 people-ish things from each category. So let's dive right into it, shall we? So our first award is Breakout Star of the Year. And this award doesn't necessarily have to be someone new or old. It's just someone who's finally made their mark. So even though Sheamus has had a tremendous year, he's not a breakout star. And our nominees are Jamie Hayter, Sami Zayn, Speedball Mike Bayley, Liv Morgan, and Ricky Starks. None of these awards are actually ever easy to give out. Kind of deciding on a winner. And this is one of the harder categories, but for me, Breakout Star of the Year has to be Jamie Hayter. It's just got to be Jamie Hayter. She ended the year as AEW World Champion. She is the current AEW Women's World Champion. And the build, the anticipation, it's great. Just had a banger of a match with Hikaru Shida. And her time is now. So Jamie Hayter gets our Breakout Star of the Year. Rookie of the Year, got 3 names for you. This was hard to come up with 3 names, but there is one name that obviously stands out above all else. The nominees are Konosuke Takeshita, Masha Slamovich, and Action Andretti. As you can see, only 3, whereas most other categories have 5. And the Rookie of the Year is obviously Konosuke Takeshita. Just putting on banger matches. Eddie Kingston, Bryan Danielson, Claudio Castagnoli, Jon Moxley. These were all on Rampage. This guy's amazing, and I really expect big things for Takeshita next year. Our return of the year. Now, this one was hard. Return could be anybody coming back from retirement, coming back from injury, even making a one-off appearance. And we had some big ones this year. The nominees are John Cena, Saraya, Bayley, Bray Wyatt, and Cody Rhodes. Now, I think you can really cancel out Cena and then narrow it down to the 4. Bayley, yes, it was a shock. There was no huge pop, even though I love Bayley. So we've come down to Saraya, Bray Wyatt, and Cody Rhodes, and no bias at all. It's gotta be Bray Wyatt. Even though Cody returned at WrestleMania, Bray's return was much more anticipated, and the build-up to it, the White Rabbit, the clues, everything. And I was there for it, and it was a sight to behold. Our feud of the year. Now, it takes a lot to make a really good feud. It takes a lot to make a great feud. And sometimes these feuds can get worn out. But there is one that really stands above all else. The nominees for this year are Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, Sheamus versus Gunther, MJF versus CM Punk, Jay White versus Kazuchika Okada, and Edge versus the Judgment Day. And a no-brainer, it's MJF versus CM Punk. This had the storytelling, some of the best storytelling you will ever see in wrestling. The blood, the sweat, the tears, the emotional heartstrings, the in-ring work, pulling you in, mic work. It just, nothing was going to top this at all. Our heel of the year. What makes a bad man or girl? This one was also a really kind of hard to pick, but in the end, there kind of really is only one obvious answer. The nominees are MJF, Roman Reigns, Moose, Matt Cardona, and the Judgment Day. So I didn't do this with some of the others, but why were some of these nominated? The Judgment Day feud with Edge, taking out Beth Phoenix. Matt Cardona's feud just with Jordan Grace and professional wrestling in general. Moose's feud with Josh Alexander. Roman Reigns' feud with, well, everybody and himself. And MJF just being a dick, and it's obvious that MJF is our heel of the year, and he's really solidified it when he took out William Regal. That solidified it. MJF is now the current AEW World Champion as of this recording, and who knows how long he'll hold that championship. Our face of the year. Who gets the people going? Who gets you right behind them? Has that fighting spirits. The nominees are Josh Alexander, Jon Moxley, Bianca Belair, Jordan Grace, and Kazuchika Okada. I keep saying his name wrong. I'm going to get it right. And I've said it right before. This one was tough as well. And in the end, I think I settled on who held it down. It has to be Jon Moxley for the face of the year. It's got to be, right? I mean, everything that AEW went through this year, all the turmoil, all the trouble, you have to say that Jon Moxley is the face of the year, and he cuts these impassioned, beautiful promos. If I could give it to him and Eddie Kingston, I would, because Eddie's up there as well. But, yeah, Jon Moxley is our face of the year. Tag team of the year. This is a really, really beautiful category. We've seen kind of a renaissance when it comes to tag team wrestling, and I am all here for it. Our nominees are FTR, the Usos, the Acclaimed, the Death Triangle, and the Motor City Machine Guns. This is a two-horse race, honestly. It's really between the Usos and FTR. They claim to have had a great year, and they are the current tag team champions. The Death Triangle are the current trios champions alongside Pac, and they've just been putting on beautiful, beautiful matches. And the Motor City Machine Guns, they were adding a fifth team in here was tough. So it's either going to be the Motor City Machine Guns or Aussie Open. And I just went with the Machine Guns for their renaissance of year that they're having. And they are also the current Impact Wrestling Tag Team Champions. But this comes down to the Usos and FTR, the two top teams of professional wrestling. And it has to be FTR because they are the top guys. High quality, 5-star matches. Held 3 tag team championships from 3 different companies. FTR, it's kind of a no-brainer that they're our tag team of the year, our faction of the year. I'm glad we're seeing this renaissance of factions, especially in the WWE. And the nominees are the Judgment Day, the Bloodline, the Jericho Appreciation Society, the Blackpool Combat Club, and Suzuki Gun. Again, this is kind of a no-brainer, but here's the thing. If the Judgment Day got started off better, they will probably be faction of the year. But at the end, this is the Bloodlines to lose. They've been dominant all year. And Suzuki Gun just broke up. Blackpool Combat Club and Jericho Appreciation Society really cancel each other out. So it goes to the Bloodline just being dominant and winning at War Games. Our female wrestler of the year: Kairi, Bianca Belair, Mayu Iwatani, Jordynne Grace, and Toni Storm. All 5 of these women are fantastic in the ring. Kairi and Io are the 2 best wrestlers in this category, and they put on a banger of a match. But this is Bianca's to lose. Jordynne Grace is like close. Jordynne Grace is on her ass, but this is Bianca's to lose, who's been just a dominant champion. Her claim, her quest to defeating Becky Lynch again and becoming champion. It's got to go to Bianca's. Hopefully, we'll see kind of a reinvention of her character next year and see what else she has to offer. Male Wrestler of the Year. This will always be a hard category, but this year, it wasn't hard at all. So, our nominees are Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Josh Alexander, Will Ospreay, and Jon Moxley. Now, you're going to say, well, it's clearly Roman Reigns. No, it's not clearly Roman Reigns. He's only in here as like a default, just because he's been so dominant. But no. Seth is Seth, who's been doing some excellent work. But this is a 3-horse race between Josh Alexander, Will Ospreay, and Jon Moxley. So I decided to go with Will Ospreay. I decided to go with Will Ospreay because he's undoubtedly been on a roll this year. You can also say the same for Alexander. You can also say the same for Moxley. But just something about Will Ospreay is really, really putting him over the top with amazing, amazing matches against Okada, against Kenny, teaming with his tag team partners, Aussie Open of Former United Empire. It's got to be Will, right? It's got to be Will Ospreay. In our promotion of the year category, we have WWE, AEW, New Japan, Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, and AAA. And this is a fun one. AAA has El Viking, El Hijo del Vikingo. Guy's an amazing talent. And every company has also made some big missteps, but for me, this is actually between New Japan and Impact. And if Impact had done just a little bit more with their women's tag team division, while also not fully diving all in on Bully Ray, and they really should have pulled the trigger on Masha Slamovich. You built her up just to have her lose to Jordynne Grace. Gotta go with New Japan for one reason and one reason only. They have their own women's championship now. Kairi versus Mayu stole the show. Fantastic in-ring work, fantastic ability. Wrestle Kingdom was coming up, and they had their crossover show with AEW. Forbidden Door, they had a crossover show with Stardom. They've just had a phenomenal banner year when it comes to wrestling. And now with the addition of probably Mercedes Moné, gotta give it to New Japan. Wrestler of the Year. This is it. This award and one more award after this, but Wrestler of the Year is something that, and this is hard. So you see how I broke it down into Male Wrestler of the Year, Tag Team of the Year. So tag teams can be here as well. So this is the one category where there's anywhere from 5 to 10 people. 10 teams, whatever the case may be, right? So the nominees are Josh Alexander, Jordynne Grace, Will Ospreay, Seth Rollins, Bianca Belair, and FTR. See, now we're into the nitty gritty. It's hard. It's tough. Your brain is like, yeah, what do I do? Who do you vote for? Because all 6 people here have had just tremendous years. Josh Alexander, Jordynne Grace, Will Ospreay, Seth Rollins, Bianca Belair, and FTR. I'm going to go with Will Ospreay, the current IWGP United States Heavyweight Champion, defending it against Kenny Omega at Wrestle Kingdom, where I think Ospreay is also going to win. The guy's been truly above all else this year. And I probably should have added a few more people to this category, like Jon Moxley should probably be in this category. But I like the 6 because I think these 6 really stood above all else. Even though Jon Moxley should probably be in this category. But Will Ospreay has been phenomenal. Will Ospreay has not signed with the WWE, has not signed with AEW. He is staying in New Japan so he can do just the amazing work. Gotta give it to him. This is a guy who could win the award every single year if he wanted to. I'm just saying. And lastly, our last award of the evening, the Match of the Year award. This again is another award that can go from anywhere from 5 to 10 nominees. I kept it at 5 this year for the first year. Let's go over the nominees. From Ring of Honor Final Battle, FTR versus the Briscoes in a double dog collar match for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. Clash at the Castle, Sheamus versus Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. New Japan Pro Wrestling G1 Climax, Will Ospreay versus Okada. Hell in a Cell, Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes. And from AEW Dynamite, The Elite versus United Empire. Now, if you checked out the Match of the Year show, we had just some beautiful, beautiful, beautiful matches this year. Just top quality, high quality stuff. But if you heard me, if you listened to me, there's one match that truly, truly stands above everyone, and this is no recency bias. It has to be Ring of Honor Final Battle, FTR versus the Briscoes in a double dog collar match for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. This was everything. This was everything. This was the culmination of a beautiful trilogy of two of the best tag teams today, playing off of what they've done before and taking it to another level that may never be topped. That's no hyperbole. FTR Briscoes double dog collar match of 2022. Well earned, well deserved. Those are the cutters. Tell me what you think. Any other categories I should add next year? I already got a list of a couple other categories. I'm gonna try to up it to at least 20, maybe 18. So maybe what's we got 13. Add 5 more categories, and I already think I know what I'm going to add. But that's the show. Thank you. As always, get ready for 2023. You know it's coming. I can't wait. Check out the socials. Charismatic Creations on Facebook, Tumblr, on YouTube, Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram, the 215 on Twitter. Next week, these will be my 2023 predictions. I'm going to go into some details with those. A couple of videos coming up. And as always, Wendy Chu, Zia Lee, Shouty Blackheart, and GG Dolan. Holla at your boy. Peace.